Hello, Transformers fans! Adam here with the Age of the Primes aerial bots. I have reviewed them all, and now it is time to combine them. So, Optimus, give the order.
Aerial bots, show them what you've got!
And here we go. I already have Silverbolt in combined mode to save time and fiddling. So, starting with air raid here. First, turn these fins around. Now flip up these fins. Untab the front of the plane. Bring it back with the double hinge. Tab it into his back. Now untab the nose of the plane. Bring that back with the double hinge. Tab that into place. Tuck in his head. Bring up his wings. Now set him down for a second. Lower his camera. And now we take Silverbolt and tab air raid right into his calf. So first on the top here, and then on the bottom. Get everything lined up properly, and then make sure it goes on both sides. Okay, air raid is done. Now do the exact same thing with skydive, and don't mind me saving some time to keep this video shorter. Anyway, moving on to firefight here. Bring down this fin, flip up his wings. Now take Superion's arm and tab firefight right on top. Make sure he tabs in all the way, on both sides. And now that he's tabbed in, we can extend the arm out and separate firefight. To do that, starting with the forearm, go ahead and push down, and don't be afraid to give it some elbow grease. So here we go. And there we are. Extend it out all the way. Get this out of my way for a second. And tab it into place. Okay, bring this back down. Now the back of the arm. Same thing. Push down. Extend it out all the way. Tab it into place. All right, that's done. Set him down for a second. Raise up this camera. Turn Silverbolt around. And now take Firefight. And clip him into place right here. Get him attached all the way. Okay, Firefight is done. Now do the same exact thing with Slingshot. And there he is. Optimus, introduce your friend.
Surprise, Megatron! Meet Superion!
Let's get into it, starting with his only accessory, and that is his huge blaster that he used to blast the Decepticons. And in the Return of Optimus Prime Part 1, he even used it to blast some of his fellow Autobots because he was infected by the hate plague. But don't worry, he didn't take them out for good. Optimus got some help from, of all beings, a Quintesson to repair them. Alright, let's put that blaster away and focus on Superion himself. So, and check him out. Let's do a 360. I said in my Silverbolt video that I had some thoughts on Superion that I would save until after I had all of his teammates and could properly form him. And I'm glad I did that because my opinion has since changed. You see, Superion has gotten some criticism because it looks like Silverbolt basically is Superion, and the other robots are more pieces of armor as opposed to actual body parts. And at first, I was on board with that way of thinking, but then I rewatched their episodes. And this right here is a very accurate portrayal of how he appeared on the show. Now, there are some other compromises which I will get into, but as far as the overall design here goes, well, they gave us show accuracy, which is the whole point of this series, so I really can't complain here. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's zoom in and take a closer look at our boy here. So, first up, his legs, air raid and skydive. On the show, they were only visible from the back and not really at all from the front, so the design here is perfectly fine, but those other compromises I mentioned, the underside of the wings, and this is where I'll call Hasbro a little lazy, because they knew from the start that this is what Superion would look like, so they could have filled that in. Also, his shins, they're a little too plain. There should be some specks of blue in there to go with the red and black. Hasbro, come on, go the extra mile. How expensive would these little changes be? Next up, his arms, slingshot, and fireflight. And even with being separated into two pieces like this, they are looking great as Superion's arms, aside from, again, the underside of the wings. Now, you can fold them in for a cleaner look, but this is not show accurate, which is supposed to be the whole point of this series. So, Hasbro, I will say again, go the extra mile, because this little change would really make him look more complete. Ay, ay, ay. Moving on to his chest and waist, and this right here is where our boy really shines. There's a lot of nice detail with the pattern here on his body, His Autobot symbol that was out of place when he was just Silverbolt is now exactly where it's supposed to be as Superion. And then spin around to the back. This right here is a much better look than the jumbled mess that was Studio Series Devastator's back. This is a much cleaner look and very show accurate. And finally, his head and face, with the black head, the green ears, the red visor, but don't let that fool you, he is a good guy. And his silver face shield, that's actually made lighter than it was on the show. But this also makes it stand out better, so this is a compromise that I'm actually okay with. But what do you guys think? Again, let me know in the comments. And for articulation, you had the Exorcist 360 action with his head, and make him nod. 360 with Fireflight, and with Slingshot, and raise them up. Bend and twist his elbows. Twist his wrists, but nothing with the hands, they're set in place. Twist his waist. Throw range of motion with his legs. Bend his knees, twist his thighs, and his ankles, giving lots of poseability possibilities to this big boy. And he is definitely a big boy. For a comparison there, let's see him with his leader, Studio Series Optimus Prime. And let's see him with Studio Series Bumblebee. Big letters on your side, Bumblebee. But that is Age of the Prime Superion. I never did have his G1 counterpart, though I do hope to pick that up at some point. But for now, I am more than good having an evolved version of the Autobots' first combiner. And that will wrap up this video and this Age of the Prime's Aerial Bots series. So until next time, good night, Transformers fans.